What's up, Breaking Muscle? Justin Lind here for week 3 of our handstand video series. This week we're doing a little bit of thoracic spine mobility work. It's the final piece of mobility that we need to work on before we start talking about handstand position. Week 1 we talked about our wrists. Week 2 we talked about shoulders. And thoracic spine, sometimes called your T-spine, basically that upper and mid back, is the forgotten piece for a lot of people. We know that we need to have a good overhead shoulder position, but unfortunately for most people, some thoracic spine impingement or some thoracic spine stiffness prevents them from getting into that shoulder position. And they work all day on working on their shoulders and forget the thoracic spine. So that's where we're going today. Let's get started. All right, very first thing we're gonna do is just get a little bit of movement into our thoracic spine. So it's gonna be a simple cat-cow from yoga. So you can come down on all fours. Hands right under your shoulders, knees right under your hips, toes tucked under, and then we're just going to arch, tuck your chin, push that upper and mid back through, and then other way, roll the shoulders back, arch all the way up through the neck, and just back and forth. If you want to bring your breathing into it, an exhale pushes you up into the arch, and an inhale, inhale into the arch, and exhale into the round. One more. All right, next we are going to go into some anchored thoracic extension. So we've got our bench. You can do something similar on a foam roller. I like it on a bench, and I'll explain why in a moment. It's really just going to be the flat surface that's helpful. So I just need something to anchor my overhead position. I have a pair of 10-pound dumbbells here. That should be plenty of weight. This isn't the type of thing that you need more weight for this. It's really just to anchor your upper body in place while you create some bending through your thoracic spine. So what we're going to do, get that mid back on the bench here. This is where the flat surface is nice because I can get all my shoulder blades and everything in line. I've got kind of a straight line right out this bridge here. These are going to go straight overhead. This is why we don't want it super heavy. Something that you can basically hold and stabilize like this. And then I'm just going to drop the hips through. And drop. I'm trying to keep everything on the bench in place. No movement there. That's why the flat surface helps. I know if I am letting everything lift off the bench, you can walk it down a vertebrae or two. So you're getting, basically trying to get the edge of that bench every couple inches so that we can work our way all the way down and to all the way right below our shoulders. Alrighty, next we are going to do single arm thoracic bridges with a twist. Now, even though there is no thoracic twisting in a handstand, it's just a good thing to do a little bit of twisting through your thoracic spine. It gets bound up in that plane of motion as well. And while we're getting everything moving, it's good to do some twisting. And when we do this bridge, you're also practicing posting through that single arm, which is going to make you more stable when you do go into a handstand. So we are working on our handstands, even if we're not intentionally twisting in a handstand. So what it's going to look like, you can come to just a quadruped bridge right here, pushing those hips up, and I'm just going to let go with one arm. I'm reaching for the opposite wall with this arm, so I'm twisting my shoulders this way while I'm twisting my hips up and pushing that hip away. So it's basically like you're wringing yourself out. This arm is reaching this way, this hip is pushing over and across. So reach and push into both of those. Again, active hand on the ground. You can drop and press up into it, drop and press up into it, or just hold. And then let's go ahead and get the other side. I'll flip around so we can see it from that side. Again, up into a quadruped bridge. Reaching across, I'm reaching my shoulder line that way while pushing my hips around the other direction, so it's wringing out that upper body. You can drop and push into it, drop, push into it. Nice and stable through this arm, gripping the ground just like we practiced. All right, coming on out. All right, now that we've created some good movement in our thoracic spine, we're going to dive into a little bit of a deeper stretch. It's called heart pose or anahata pose if you've done yoga before. If you've never done yoga, never done this stretch, it might feel a little bit strange, but that's all right. It's going to be great for your thoracic extension and your shoulder overhead position. So what we're going to do, to begin, we're going to start with our hips right over our knees. Eventually we're going to walk it forward so we can get all the way down. But you're just going to reach out, see how close you can get that chest to the ground. With hips right over your knees, you're trying to get that sternum to touch the ground. So now we're going to walk our hands as far forward as we need to be able to get that sternum on the ground. And I'm actively reaching my hands away, pushing my hips back, and then arching to press that sternum into the ground. Focusing that bend from between my shoulder blades, again, not letting the low back to it. And then we're just going to stay here as long as we can. Maybe up to a minute if you can do it, and do a few cycles of that. All right, this final one is pretty similar to the last stretch that we did, but this is really going to reinforce what your thoracic spine and your shoulders are going to see in a handstand. So now that we have opened everything up, we're going to kind of put it all together. So you need a bench or a box, flat surface. We're not grabbing the end like this. You want flat hands so we can be very active through our hands, gripping the ground just like we're going to be, or gripping the bench rather, just like we are in a handstand. Walking the hips back and now pushing through. I'm actively pushing my hands down into the bench and I'm reaching my fingers away, so I'm trying to be long as possible between my shoulders and my hips. The further I walk back, the stronger things have to be. My ears are right between my biceps, and then I'm just making a nice straight line. From here we can fall forward. I'm not arching and letting the arms bend. It's just long, and then I let things get heavy and kind of sink into it. So we're not going for big extension like we were in the last one. Now we're shooting for a straight line and just kind of strengthening and reinforcing that straight line, both from our shoulder position and our thoracic spine. This one you can't spend enough time in because it's both a stretch and a strengthening and reinforcement of good handstand positions, which is exactly where we're going next week. Starting to work on that hollow body and handstand position. So see you guys next time.